Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Michelle Saga, the crafty chick behind Chell's Beads. Today we're going to be making this super adorable hot cocoa drip ornament, and I know that you guys are going to love this for your holiday tree trimming. Everything that I use will be listed and linked in the description box below, so let's go ahead and get started. To do this project, you're going to need some clear glass ornaments. I'm using a flat circular ornament. You're also going to need some Varathane or polyacrylic. This is just a clear gloss polyurethane. You're going to also need to have this cup that I have sitting off to the side in order to catch your Varathane dripping. These are just some water slide decals that I'm using. You could use whatever design you wanted. I will have something similar listed and linked in the description box below. I did get those off of a private group, so I can't share that exact file. To start this off, we are going to take a syringe and we are going to insert this Varathane into our ornament. It takes me about 2 to 2.5 syringes full in order to get enough in there that I feel confident that it is going to coat the inside of my ornament. Once I have my polyurethane in there, I'm going to slowly start to swirl this around, making sure that I'm catching all of the surfaces of the inside of the ornament. I'm going to turn my ornament upside down and over that cup that I have as I start to get closer to the neck of the ornament. I want to make sure that I don't have any drips on my work surface because polyurethane is a sealer, so it will kind of get stuck and we don't want that mess to clean up. You're going to let this sit upside down in this cup for as long as it takes until you don't see the drips coming out of the bottom anymore. You might still have some residue around the neck, so I take a coffee filter and I just kind of push that in and wipe it out and take my finger a little bit and just make sure I don't have anything in there that might drip back down into the ornament when I turn it right side up. Now we are ready to add our glitter. For this, I'm using Chaos Glitters Fairy Godmother, and it's a beautiful, I'd say it's like a very fine, chunky mix. I'm not actually sure the cut size, but I like using it out of a baggie because it's like a built-in funnel. So I just crease that end of the bag a little bit and dump it in. There's no actual ratios to this. You just want enough in there that when you go to shake it, the glitter coats and you have excess that you can take out. I cap it with my thumb and I literally just shake the heck out of it. You want to kind of go in a circular motion, making sure that you're getting all edges, and hold it up to the light to make sure that there are no blank spots. After I do that, I tap it very gently. Keep in mind this is a glass ornament, just so all of that excess glitter falls out of the top. Now it's time to move on to adding our water slide decal. We're going to take our pre-cut decals and we are going to soak them in water until they release from the backing. Once we have that, make sure the surface of your ornament has a little bit of water on it, and we're going to slide that water slide off of the backing. Once we have it positioned where we would like, we're going to take that purple silicone squeegee tool that I have here, and we are just going to make sure that we smooth this out and get rid of any of the creases and water bubbles that may be left behind underneath. If you would like me to do a full tutorial on doing water slides, I will be more than happy to do that. Once your water slide is placed, go ahead and take a coffee filter and just pat down and smooth out any remaining water bubbles that may be present, just to make sure that the whole surface of your ornament is dry. We want that water slide decal to stay in place and not shift around, and this helps with that process. I also repeat this to the other side of the ornament. I personally like to have the designs on both sides. That way, if an ornament shifts or turns around, there is that pretty design on both sides. So I just repeat it. Sorry, this got a little squirrely and out of control. So I just repeat that for the other side of the ornament, making sure that I've squeegeed out all that excess water. And when I'm done doing that, I also repeat the drying and make sure that I take my coffee filter and dry my ornament really well. One question that I get asked a lot is whether this needs to be sealed. I do not seal my water slide decals on the ornament, and they stay perfectly fine through normal wear and tear. If you feel uncomfortable, you could always seal with a clear gloss. Now we are ready to start adding our chocolate drips. to our hot cocoa ornament. So to do this, I'm going to use Tulip Slick in brown. And for my sprinkles, I'm going to be using a blend called Cookie from Chaos. And this has little Santa and little tiny candy canes and some gingerbread. For this one, I'm not using the gingerbread because they were too close in color to the actual paint that I'm using. So this Tulip Slick is a dimensional fabric paint. However, it is not the puffy paint, so it has a much better flow to it. There is a difference between the two, so make sure you're getting the Tulip Slick brand. What you see me doing here is adding a really kind of thick starter layer right underneath where that cap sits for the ornament. And now I'm going to kind of get my drips started by adding this paint into specific areas so that I can encourage it to move in the direction that I would like it to. This is a little bit different than resin. It doesn't flow the same way resin does, so it does need a little encouragement. You see me very, very gently tapping that ornament against my protective work surface there just to get those drips started. You see me adding a little bit more paint to that initial round and also to certain drips to get it to flow just a little bit more. What I love about this dimensional paint is you really can guide it where you want your drips to be, and I feel like you just have way more control over the outcome than if you were to try this with resin. The other issue with this is this ornament is not an easy shape or size to manipulate, so doing this with resin just I think would be a little bit more difficult. I don't even really have to adjust how these flow because even though I had that one long drip, it still wasn't an issue and I was perfectly fine. So you see me here, I can also add another faux drip to any areas that I feel like need that extra little bit of chocolate flowing down over the side. Once you have your drips looking the way you would like, you're going to come in and add your little clay squares. I have not found a better way to do this than hand placing them. Because this is a much smaller surface than working on a cup, sprinkling them on using some kind of shaker or spoon would apply too many to your work surface. So in this case, I hand place them. I did try to use a pair of tweezers, but unfortunately the needle nose tweezers kept getting a little bit of that gunk on them from the paint, and it was just kind of muddying everything up, and the clay pieces were actually sticking to the tweezers. So I chose to hand place these. I actually am not touching the paint. What I'm doing is kind of putting it above where I'm working and letting it fall where I would like. As you see here, I did have some that ended up sticking to my finger, so we're going to use a silicone tip tool to just kind of move those into place. You could use any kind of sprinkles that you wanted to for this step. This was just the ones that I had, and I thought it was really cute and kind of reminded me of using a peppermint swizzle stick in a real mug of hot cocoa. So you're just going to continue placing these until you filled up as much of the area as you would like to. I know we added glitter, but I have to add a little bit more bling to this. So I have taken this beautiful holographic chocolate brown from Glitter Makes It, and I am just going to hand sprinkle this onto the wet chocolate drips. I do this this way because I don't want this glitter to get everywhere. Once the ornament is completely dry, you can brush off the excess glitter, but I just felt like this was a good way to add that little extra pop and sparkle to your ornament. To remove any of the excess glitter ahead of time, I just lightly tapped the ornament with my fingers by flicking it, just to make sure that I didn't have anything sticking around when I did the next layer. Once your chocolate drip is ready to be set aside, we're going to take one of these wide mouth drinks cups and just perch this on top so that those drips can dry. Once we have those drips completely dried, we're going to come in with a little bit of sealer to just seal in that glitter that we placed. It'll help it to where people handling the ornament won't get glitter all over their hands. I'm using dishwasher safe Mod Podge, but you could also use a gouache varnish medium from Liquitex or Golden. Those are usually my sealers of choice if I'm going over polymer clay, because you have to keep in mind that some sealers can react with the polymer clay and make it sticky. Go ahead and brush it on using a detailed brush all along your clay slices as well as the drips, and we will set that aside to dry. Once this gloss layer is dry, your ornament is ready to go and deck the halls with this beautiful piece. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make this ornament, and because it's epoxy free, it is a perfect holiday family fun activity to get the kids involved in. I can't wait to see what you guys make with this, so make sure to tag me on social media so that I don't miss all of your beautiful creations. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me that you support my channel by liking, subscribing, and commenting below. I love to hear from you guys. If you'd like to watch one of my other videos, go ahead and click here, and don't forget to subscribe. Till next time, stay creative, guys.